Exercise 9.14, these are proven identities, okay? You gotta prove that one side equals the other side. So let's start off with number 6, okay? Now, the first thing I don't like about number 6 is I don't like the fact that 2a and a. That's what I'm gonna pick on right away, is that I want to convert one of them. I want all my angles in terms of either a or 2a. So I'm going to look at my formula chart and I'm going to try and figure out a way to convert cos 2a into something different. I go to page 14 of my notes and I see two different equations. The first equation I see is cos 2a equals cos squared a minus sine squared a. The second one I see that involves cos 2a is this one here. Cos squared a equals a half 1 plus cos 2a. Now, do you know the great thing is about both of them is they're both correct. They actually both change into the same thing. So you actually can't choose a wrong equation here. We'll choose the easier of the two, which is going to be the first one. And we're going to get rid of cos 2a. Now, once again, my reason for doing that is entirely based on the two angles. Okay? Now, look at the difference when I do this. It's now going to turn into 2 cos squared a minus bracket cos squared a minus sine squared a minus 1 equals 0. Then you're going to cross out the formula you just used. What you notice is the difference now. Everything, there's no double angles anymore, there's only single angles. Cos squared a minus 2 cos squared a minus cos squared a is cos squared a. Minus multiplied by minus gives you plus sine squared a minus 1 equals 0. Now, on page 13 of your notes, on your tables, it will tell you that cos squared a plus sine squared a equals 1. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to replace this with 1. 1 minus 1 equals 0. 0 equals 0. It's proven. So you're basically just picking a formula, putting it in, and then prove they're equal. Let's try another one.
Well, you just
so every answer you get, you put it into another formula.
Yeah.
Place it as opposed to actually putting something in.
Yes.
How did you get rid of the 2 cos squared a again?
2 cos squared a minus 1 cos squared a, which is located here.
Oh.
Get your cos squared a. Okay, guys. Next one. Number 10 looks hard. So let's try number 10. Now, in number 10 we have 1 minus cos 2a. 1 plus minus cos 2a, 1 plus cos 2a equals tan squared a. Now, here we go, okay? Now, what we got to do first and foremost is I'm going to run on the same principles I did the last one. What I'm going to systematically do is I am going to get rid of all the double angles like last time. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the exact same formula as last time, where cos 2a equals cos squared a minus sine squared a. Right, so that's always going to be step 1 for me. So it's going to be 1 minus cos squared a minus sine squared a. And then on the bottom it's going to be 1 plus cos squared a minus sine squared a. Now, I'm going to just take the left side on its own. Okay? So I'm now ignoring the right hand side for the rest of the question. You don't have to do it this way, but I'm going to choose to do it this way. Now, what I could do next is I could I have an idea. I'm going to change the number 1 into cos squared a plus sine squared a equals 1. Now, why would I do that or even think about doing that? They're going to start cancelling off, and it's going to make the full thing a lot smaller. So I'm changing both number 1s into cos squared a plus sine squared a minus, I'm just going to multiply this out now. Minus cos squared A plus sine squared A divided by cos squared A plus sine squared A plus cos squared A minus sine squared A. Now look at this, guys. What happens on top? We end up with 2 sine squared A. What happens on the bottom? 2 cos squared A. Finally, the 2's cancel. I go back to my bag of tricks and I'm going tan A, and I'm going to read tan A on page. Tan A will be read on page 13. Tan A equals sine A divided by cos A. By this logic, tan squared A should be equal to sine squared A over cos squared A. And then from that logic we can now say that tan squared A equals tan squared A. You can basically say LHS, left hand side equals right hand side. It's proven. Problem here is it's very random. It's very random what formula you're pulling. In number 12, what I'm looking at here is cos theta, cos theta, cos theta. They're all thetas. One of them is the exception. Which one is it? Cos 3 theta. Now, there's a left hand side and there's a right hand side. I can choose either one to turn in the other. My rule of thumb, the way 9 times out of 10 I'll do these is, I'll always look at the one that has a number before the theta, as in a compound angle. I will take the left hand side, which is cos 3 theta, okay, and plus cos theta. I have 2 options. I look through my tables and I go, what chapters have I done already? I have 2 choices, and one of my choices is, why don't I just do cos A plus cos B? Do you remember that from the last exercise? So what I'm going to do is go and look up the cos A plus cos B formula. I'm going to get 2 cos A plus B over 2 cos A minus B over 2. I'm going to put them into this formula. A is 3 theta, B is theta. So let's see what happens. 2 cos 3 theta plus theta, 4 theta. 4 theta divided by 2? 2 theta. Cos A minus B over 2. So cos 3 theta minus theta? 2 theta. 2 theta divided by 2? Theta. Now look at this, guys. I still have a problem now, don't I? Which one of these still isn't following what I need to the right hand side? The 2 theta is now the problem. I'm now systematically going to get rid of the 2 theta. I have options. Here's my options. I can use cos 2 theta equals cos squared theta minus sine squared theta. That's one equation. I think I'm going to go for the one swoop using the other equation this time. I'll show you now. Shh, lads. The other equation is cos squared theta equals a half into 1 plus cos 2 theta. Now look what happens here. Cross multiply the 2 and we get 2 cos squared theta equals 1 plus cos 2 theta. Then bring the 1 over the other side. Now let me explain why I did this. The reason why I did this is my answer on the left hand side has no sine thetas. So it means when I swap something out, I don't want to swap sine thetas in. I want to swap cos thetas in. That's why I chose the second rule as opposed to the first rule. But the first rule, as in this rule here, I could still swap out the sine squared theta a different way. Anyways, what we're going to get here is this.
Isn't that cos squared theta, not cos 2? Yeah.
No, that's cos 2 theta.
Yeah, but
here.
It's cos squared theta.
No, that's cos 2 theta.
I know, but the formula is cos squared.
You're putting that in.
Yeah, but cos 2 theta is here. So I rearranged it so that cos 2 theta is the subject of the formula. Okay, so what I'm going to get is this. 2 bracket 2 cos squared theta minus 1. Yeah. Cos theta. Multiply it out. And see the cos theta, guys? I'm going to move that to the front. Why am I allowed to move that to the front beside the 2? It's multiplying, okay? So, what's 2 cos theta times 2 cos square theta? 4 cos cubed theta. 2 cos theta times minus 1? Does that equal the right hand side? It does, yeah. Now guys, LHS equals RHS. Now guys, there's something else I want you to know. And what I want you to know is this, okay? I'm going to do it a different way, okay? Because you got to understand that you don't have to follow one route to get the answer. So, another thing would have been this. Some of you didn't choose this method here. You didn't choose to isolate the second equation. You chose the first equation, which is perfectly okay. So what you did was this instead. You said, okay, 2 brackets cos squared theta. Okay, if I can write properly. Cos squared theta minus sine squared theta. Okay. Cos theta. Now guys, which is the problem now? What's the problem area? Sine squared theta. You now go to your notes and you look for something that has sine squared theta in it. Okay? Now, there's one of them that's directly below it, isn't it? It has sine squared theta equals, it's the bottom of page 14. I'm just changing A's into thetas. Now, can somebody tell me why is this a dead end? Why is this a dead end? You're changing it back into a cos 2 theta. It's a dead end. That's not the right equation. Choose again. Now there's one other equation on page 13 that does it. It's this equation here. Cos squared theta plus sine squared theta equals 1. Get sine squared theta on its own and we get sine squared theta equals 1 minus cos squared theta. Now you're in business because you're got. By the way, I'm going to move that back to the front again where it was last time. And what we get is this. Cos squared theta bracket minus 1 minus cos squared theta close bracket, right? 2 cos theta into it's going to be 2 cos squared theta minus 1. Everybody know where we got the 2 cos squared theta from? When you multiply minus 1 by that, it becomes plus cos squared theta. And it's still minus 1. Multiply it in, and we get the same thing we did last time. So both equations led to the same place. Okay guys, we're going to do another one? What? There's another one here, okay? Shh. You have 2 choices here, okay? When I look at this, I can do this 2 ways. Now this is the exception to my rule. Excuse me. This is the exception to my rule. See the cos 2 theta here? It's small, it's on its own. The more complicated side is the one to the left. Now guys, Simon, look at this. I would normally, but you're turning something very small into something that's very big. It's very much easier to solve the big thing into the small thing. And I'll show you what I mean here. What if I wrote this? 2 cos A, cos B. Did we do that in our last exercise? Yeah. We did. So, what is the formula for 2 cos A, cos B? Cos A plus B plus cos A minus B. Shh, stop there. Now, what's going to happen here, guys, is we're going to say that A is pi over 4 plus theta and B is pi over 4 minus theta. Now look at this. It's going to turn into cos A plus B. What is A plus B? Pi over 4 plus pi over 4 gets you pi over 2. Use your calculator. Okay. Next one is theta minus theta. Nothing, 0. Okay, that's your first part. Your second part is taking them away from each other. So what is pi over 4 plus theta minus pi over 4 minus theta? Well, the pi over 4s are going to cancel, aren't they? Theta plus theta? 2 theta. So guys, look at this. You're very close to getting your answer. You have your 2 theta here, but you have this one beside it. In your calculator, what is cos pi over 2? Actually turns out to be 0. So you actually just after getting your answer as cos 2 theta. It would have been much harder to go in reverse.
That's a lot simpler than the last one.
Sorry?
Cos theta over 2 is 0.999.
Yeah.
0.99996.
Theta over 2?
Cos theta over 2?
Yeah, it should be 1. Do it here.
Wait, cos pi over, is that cos
Pi over 2, yes.
Yeah, pi over 0.99.
Just give me a second with that. Are you in degrees mode?
Yeah.
You're meant to be in radian mode.
Pi.
Because pi is radians. Okay guys, quiet please. Okay. Shh. 0. Okay. Lads, number 13 now, okay? Just give me a second with this. 13. Now, in number 13, okay, I have cos A plus B, cos B, plus sine A plus B, sine B, equals cos A. Now, I could use a formula for this one and this one, but what would happen if I did that? I'd get a very, very, very long formula to deal with. Because if you look at page 14, cos A plus B in itself, if I substitute only this part here, I'm going to end up with this. Cos A, cos B, minus sine A, sine B. And I didn't technically make a mistake, but look at how absolutely massive I'm making this equation. I can do it. It's going to take me a hell of a lot of time. Now let's think of something else. Let's think another way about this. Look at this. What happens if I was to do something like this? Call that one X, call that one Y, call that one X, call that one Y. The equation simplifies to cos X, cos Y, plus sin X, sin Y. Is there any equation that does that in your notes?
Cos A plus B.
What is it?
Cos A plus B.
It is cos A minus, so it's going to be cos X minus Y. That's what it is. And in this equation, X equals A plus B and Y equals B. So let's try this out. Cos X, X is A plus B, minus Y, which is minus B. And what happens when we put that together? Equals cos A. For your homework tonight, what you're going to try out, I want you to try all the ones I did in class today and the odds. Do you understand? All the ones I did in class today and the odds.